Welcome to this special edition of the Coffee Break Show. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, now there's a lot of people on this show today, but I want you to know I have Isabelle on, and I know you guys like Isabelle so much. We are going to be right back, and we're going to rock your world today in such a way that it is going to blow your mind. But first, we always have to listen to music. I'll be right back. You're on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. This is a special edition of the Coffee Break Show. It's brought to you by the Metadime Digital Network. Today, of course, you guys know that Isabelle Tierney is on. She's a favorite of the show today. And today, we are going to be talking about how to thrive. And everybody at the end of the year, we have a tendency to fall off our goals, fall off the wagon. But what if you could finish this year strong with a stronger mindset, a stronger set of inspiration and creativity, with less stress? What if you could actually finish this year happier than you ever thought possible? And that's what we're here today with Isabelle. And Isabelle, I want to welcome you, of course, the Coffee Break Show and your entire facilitating team. And, I just want to welcome you here. I know that you just told me recently you have a free 10-day challenge that is made to help people discover their own inner genius, discover their inspiration, and actually help them thrive a little bit more going forward. And I thought this was so important that I asked you in a short time, like we had this conversation like 48 hours ago or so, to be on here. Let's do this show. But first, would you do me a favor? Can you just introduce your team and everybody here and, say a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today? That's amazing.
Yeah, this is always why I love coming on your show, because you always say things before I get to say them. I'm like, yeah, for the end of the year. Can you imagine if we finish the end of the year like better? Really, usually like the holiday season, the fall, everybody starts going inward and being more stressed out. And so I really love the way you put it in the context. Like, yeah, let's finish our year even better. So we have this 10-day challenge. We actually call it the Stress Less, Thrive More experience that starts September 19th. And for the first time, so up until this year, I've been like the main speaker. I'm the founder of this
Yep.
methodology. And what we've realized is that actually this is my core team that I'm going to introduce in a minute. This methodology gets richer and richer the more we have people talk about how it works for them, right? I have one angle that this methodology works for me, and then Eric, Philip, Deidre, and whoever else uses this work uses it in slightly different way. And we realized, these people have been with me for 5 years, this team, that we wanted to co-teach together. And so I think it's
Fantastic.
going to be the most potent 10 days that I certainly have ever experienced. And when we got the chance to have all four of us together to talk about this, I was like, I'm in. So I'm going to introduce people one by one. So I'm going to start with Deidre. So Deidre Towns is a coach, and she is a master feel good life facilitator. So that means that she trained in my methodology and then has been training as a master facilitator. And Deidre, you'll see, Deidre says like 3 sentences, and she says the same thing that takes me 20 sentences to say. So I'm setting her up now, but she is just one of the most on point truth tellers of anybody that I've ever met. And people just want to hear what Deidre has to say. Eric also signed up to be my first apprentice. What was it, 2018, guys? Is that what we finally figured out? I mean, it was literally like God saying, you're supposed to have apprentices. I was like, okay. And Eric is also a coach. He also has been with me for 5 years, co-teaches the course. And Eric is one of his greatest strengths, his zone of genius, is navigating the quantum field. And so people
Ooh.
just want to go, any meditations that Eric does or any coaching that Eric does is he has a power of manifesting. like no one I've
Cool.
ever seen. So we always have them do our manifesting meditations, and they always turn up to happen. And then last but certainly not least, Philip joined us a year later in 2019. And Philip also is my chief creative officer. So he also works full
Cool.
time for my company and is also a master facilitator. And the three of them, they teach the course and they call themselves the Brave because they're so interwoven with each other and
Nice.
just support each other and have their unique gifts. So it's just an honor for me to have them on this. This is the first time the four of us come onto a podcast together. So it's really fun for me.
So listen, I'm going to start asking questions, Isabelle, because I have the team in front of me and I have this. If you're driving or you're listening, I want to break down the first thing, the reason why we're having this special show right now. And that is that you have a 10-day challenge that is free, a 10-day breakthrough. And if you could say a little bit about that, and then I want to ask everybody else, like, why is it important? Why are you doing this now? Why is it important for you to participate? And if you could say, each of you, one thing to someone to say, this is why you should participate, I think if you get the help for free, it's a blessing. Shut up and sign up. There you go. But there, I want to hear from you guys. Why are you doing this? And what are you hoping to accomplish? And tell us about the challenge itself for the 10 days. What are they going to get? What are they going to learn and know?
All right, I'll start with what the challenge is, and then I want to hear them talk about
Great.
everything else. So 10 days, we show up and have a teaching of the theory of the methodology in the morning. It's a live call that's recorded so people can access it anytime. And then the afternoon, which is really fun, is we have panels of speakers who then speak about the methodology in action. So how they use the methodology to move through divorce, how they use the methodology to parent, how there's going to be a panel of 4 men. It's going to be Philip, Eric, Brian, my partner, and another lovely man. They're going to talk about men because so often spiritual development, just women do it. But this work is so good with men as well. So it'll be really rich because people will get to learn the theory of it, and then also how it works. It starts the 19th, goes Monday to Friday, and then the second week, Monday to Friday. And it is free. And like so much content, you literally will be able to use it for the rest of your life and actually really
and I want to add to that because I have learned the methodology like in its infancy, in the very beginning, like when you lived in Boulder so long ago. And I have used it all the time. I can tell when I'm in the red zone and getting back to the green zone, which is, I'm a little ahead of the game saying that, but you'll explain that later. One of the reasons my productivity is higher, where my deal making is better, I've made more money because of it. There are so many things that that will benefit you from this 10-day thing. But I want to talk to those people in your group now and just ask them, why do you want to do this? What are you hoping to transform, or how is it that you are helping people through this process? I know I asked 3 questions, just pick one of them or answer them all. Isabelle's used to this. Vicki just asked all 3 questions all at once.
I freeze for a couple of seconds because Vicki, and I'm like, wait, what?
So, I mean, the thing is, I know why I have this special show. I'm going to start first. The world is more stressful than it ever has been, ever in history. There's a lot of uncertainty. And the only way through it, in my opinion, is to be present in a way that we don't know how to be right now, or we're too stressed out to be. And so for me, anybody that's going to come along with all your skill sets, your expertise, your amazingness, Isabelle, and say, oh yeah, I'll give you 10 days for free, I am on board. And if you're driving or you're listening, I promise we'll have that in the show notes. But Deidre, and I just want to start with Deidre because I just wanted to welcome you to the Coffee Break Show. And I would love to know why you're doing this, what you want to help people do, and give us a flavor of you.
Okay. Thank you, first of all, so much for having us on here today. We are super excited about the upcoming experience that we are going to deliver for people. And I am in. So I've been in from the beginning.
Yeah.
As you know, Isabelle is quite the inspirational speaker. And she was speaking at a retreat where I was attending. And I was so moved. I went right up to her after the end of her talk. And I was like, okay, how do I do this? How do I learn more? How do I get this? Because I recognized I hadn't even done the work. She just talked about the work. And I recognized immediately the simplicity of it. But in the simplicity,
Yes.
it is so profoundly effective. And in its simplicity, it makes it very easy to do. And so it's
Yes.
easy for people to look at it and overlook and go, this is too simple. It can't be this easy. It's totally this easy. You just have to bring your whole self to the conversation. And so we had that conversation. She was like, well, I'm thinking about having some apprentices. And so I signed up immediately to be an apprentice with her work. I recognized the power of the work to help people have hard conversations. That was my initial thought
Yes.
about it. Because so often what happens when we're in a difficult conversation with someone is that people get triggered,
Mhm.
right? So, but if you can manage your triggers, you can really stay, as you just said, present. You can stay present in the conversation and really hear the other person.
Yes.
Because once you're
Yes.
triggered, you're not really there anymore. Something else is taken over, and someone else is in the driver's seat. So that for me was the beginning of the power. And then after I started teaching the work, the proof is just in the pudding. So we have worked with hundreds, maybe at this point, of people. And being with these people through the years, hearing their stories, hearing them come back to us, even the most difficult, most skeptical, I'm not woo, I don't do meditation, I can't visualize. These people, they come into this group and it's just like, just come with what you got. Bring us what you got, and we're going to work with whatever you have, and you will have a transformation, whether you believe you can or not. And that's the most amazing thing.
You know, there's a couple of things that you said, Deidre, that I thought were so important and so spot on. And one of them has to go back with the simplicity of it. We have made personal development, spirituality, and consciousness so utterly complicated that somehow it always appears to be like it's out of reach somehow. It's not attainable. And the simplicity of the truth is it can be just in the moment, just easily. And you know, you made this comment that I really liked. What the comment was, and it made me think about 4 hour work week. What's his name? The 4 hour work
Tim
week.
Ferriss.
Thank you, Ferris. He
Mhm,
the quote from him is your net worth is going to be equal to the amount of hard conversations that you can have.
mhm.
And when you have a hard conversation, first off, you're telling yourself it's hard. And then the second thing you need to know is that it doesn't have to be hard. You can get to the point where you're having the conversation with ease. And this is what I'm talking about that you mentioned. When you talk about having a breakthrough, what if it's easy to have a breakthrough? What if it's simple to have a breakthrough? And I really thank you for that. I really love and appreciate what you said. Eric, I'm going to pop up to you and say hello and welcome to the Coffee Break Show. And I'm kind of wondering why you're wanting to do it, what you're hoping for, and the things that you want to have be seen in this 10-day challenge that's for free, people. We're talking about an event that can transform your life. Transform your life. I just want to pop over and say, good morning. This is Tracy, my business partner in Australia. Welcome to the house, Australia. So it's a free program that you can have on right now that you can be a part of. And Eric, I'm just wondering, you know, what's your gig in this and why did you participate? And tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, thank you. I'll echo Deidre. Thank you for having us on. I appreciate it. Um, I creeped on Isabelle on Facebook. I used to follow her and stuff. And my friend lived in Colorado and I was coming to visit. I said, if anybody, I reached out to some people, I'd love to meet you in person. And so we had coffee. And midway through the coffee, she says, you want to come back to my house and meditate? And well, the rest is history. I've been with her for 5 years. And what attracted me to it was, since probably like freshman year, I've been a spiritual seeker. I've read a million books. I meditate. I did this thing. I did that thing. I've met Ram Dass a couple times. I've sat at the feet of a couple gurus and but I was always jumping from one thing to the next. It was like the shiny object of spirituality. I could never find something that like I could stick with. And when I learned about the methodology, it was like she synthesized it, kind of like the gold rushers. She took it all and the gold nugget was left. And when I started to use it, I was like, oh my God, like I'm feeling things. I mean, we'll talk more about it, but just the check-in. Like when I first started the check-in, I had this idea that I was this green zone genie, that I was just this spiritual being that was light and fairy dust. And when I would check in, I really wasn't. And so just that beginning tool of checking in where I was at was like, holy cow, this really is gold. And as I started to do more work, I started to shift so much of my life. It was just like, oh my God, like this, like Deidre said, it is so simplified and so easy. And if you put your heart and soul into it, your life will transform. Like all of us teach the course, and we have a mastermind. And I follow these people, and the growth from point A to where they are now I sometimes bring me tears. I mean, we have somebody that got off antipsychotic drugs using the methodology. Yeah. And just these, I liken it to like your face being planted to like the window. All you see is like what's right in front of you. And what this does is helps you pull back and have more of a panoramic view of your life.
Yes.
And, we use the word a lot, witness. You begin to witness your life from a distance. Like for me, I mean, my thing is I was able to alchemize my anger into love.
Beautiful.
Where the anger would come and I would discharge it out at my children or whoever was in the wake.
Yes. Eric,
now,
Eric, I want to go a little deeper into that because I think there's a lot of that out in the world right now. You said you were able to alchemize your anger into love. And how has that changed your life? How do you feel now when you say I've alchemized that?
I was a reactive a-hole, to be honest with you. And I'll tell a brief story of how like I was working on myself. This is about halfway through the journey. I would on the surface be calm when I was talking to my kids when I was upset, and they'd go, "Stop yelling at me, Dad." And I'm going, I'm not, in this voice, I'm like, I'm not yelling at you. They're like, if you don't stop yelling at me, I'm going to go upstairs. And they would go upstairs consistently. And I had to sit with it. Like, I feel like I've muted my anger. And when I dove deep using some of the tools, 2 layers deep, I was furious and fuming. And they were feeling the vibrational imprint of my anger. So I realized I have got some serious work to do. So, I mean, I just, probably in the last 6 months, I feel like I've gotten to the point where, like, not that I'm anger free, but like, like when you're standing in the ocean, you feel the undertow come in and the sand goes under your toes. Like I'm at a point now where, there's the sand under my toes. I'm feeling it. And I can hold it in the green zone. I have the depth and the capacity of the container to feel those things now in a much wider area. And it doesn't affect me. I can be with it and allow it to just transmute into something different.
Oh, gosh. I got to tell you, my hair is standing up and my heart is actually in my throat. Because one of the things that we don't think about is that we can become happier by managing ourselves differently. And what we're not taught is how to manage ourselves differently. And when you're taking a look at the methodology, this is how to manage yourself, not just to lower your stress or lower your anger, but increase your wellness and your ability to be aware and envision. And this is what I'm telling you, when I use it, my productivity goes up. And what's interesting is the more I use it, the faster I catch myself. The faster I catch myself, the back to center I am. And now it feels like, you know how you have a sliver in your finger, Eric, and you're just like, oh, that sliver. If I'm not aligned in that green zone, it feels like I have a sliver in my finger. You want to address it right away. When you get to the point where you have a 10-day offer to go explore this for free, to have the results Eric just talked about, imagine being able to sleep better. Imagine being able to be better more aware for your family and your loved ones. Imagine being able to stop the illness that happens in your body from being so stressed. And imagine knowing how to do a bulk of that in 10 days. Imagine the ability to transform your life in 10 days. Okay, so this to me is why it's so important. Just what Eric said. That's why it's so important. Phil,
I want to add one quick thing. Eric
yes.
also met his soulmate because of doing this work. So just saying, not
All
just the
right.
anger piece, but also has the epic story. We'll see if he has time to share it about that. So,
That's so interesting too, Isabel, because they always say that everybody needs to stop looking for their soulmate and become ready for their soulmate. And when you do this work, then suddenly the relationship you actually want can manifest because you're the person that is part of that manifestation. I love that. Thank you for that. And
Can I
we are going
chime
to go
in
back.
really quick? I just want to chime in really quick. You called it coming back to center, and Eric calls it the green zone. So for your audience who might not be familiar with our work,
Thank you.
the green zone is the center. When you come into a place of being aligned in all your levels within yourself, that's the green zone. That's the center for us when we say it.
Beautiful. That is true. It is. Thank you for that. And you're right. This is true. You start to attract exactly what you want.
yeah.
And I can tell you, the reason I'm having this special broadcast is because I know for a fact for years that Isabel's work works. Full stop. Been using it. And I have her on the show quarterly for everybody because her work works. And so now when we take a look at moving into the future, maybe you feel uncertain, maybe you feel fearful. Do you have 10 days in your life to transform it? Do you have 10 days? Can you say in the next 10 days, I'm going to have a little self-care. I'm going to have a little bit of self-love, and I'm going to take a little bit of selfish me time, and I'm going to take the next 10 days to transform my life in that way. You're right. Isabel is amazing. Thank you, my friend. You absolutely are. So I know that we're going to sing the praises of Isabel all the way through the show, but I want to go talk to Philip, he's been very, face it, Isabel, my community loves you. When you're on the show, they flock, and I love that. But they also know that the value delivered is super important. Yes. Look at this. It's always worthwhile spending time on the self. Sign me up. Yes. And while I'm doing that, I want to give them I'm going to ask my team if you'd be willing to put up the web address so they could go right now, the feelgoodlife.com/breakthrough. Feelgoodlife.com/breakthrough. Would you please put, Robin, would you do me a favor, love, and put the address in so I can get it up on screen for people? Because I want everyone who's listening. Now, listen, if you're driving the car or you're on the subway or you're stuck in traffic, relax. It's going to be in the show notes. It'll be there when you get home. You can go ahead and then just, type it in very easily into your browser, and then it'll be there. Breakthrough Challenge. It's the Feel Good Breakthrough Challenge, Feel Good Life. Robin, put it up for me. Somebody put it up for me.
Breakthrough. Just remember breakthrough. You did such a good job of talking about
Feel Good Life Breakthrough.
10 days is experience a breakthrough. That's the thing. And a needful one, right? Like you said so beautifully, Vicki, it doesn't have to be hard. We can do it in a different way because we're doing it as a community and we're doing it with people who know how to move us through it. That's what's so exciting about us being together.
So thank you for that, because all of them came all at once. It's somehow the system got a little slow, and now it's a pop, pop, pop. I put it up. Robin put it up. Tracy put it up.
Perfect.
Everybody put
People
it up.
need to see something 7 times before they do it. So
good, because somebody at Metadime put it up. Then here it is again, put it up. We're just going to put it up for a little bit, and I'm going to leave it there so that, looking at probably about, 15, 20 20 minutes into the show. I want to get to Phil, but we've gotten this up and I'm going to leave this. Phil, welcome to the Coffee Break Show. I'm so glad you're with us. And what I'm wondering is, kind of everything. What's your story, why you're here, and how has this work affected you as well?
Well, I want to pick up from some of the great points that have been mentioned, touched already. And when you said whether you're stuck in traffic just now, that's a big one for people. And I want to talk about stress. Stress is something that is a part of our lives. And this work is not about getting rid of stress. We can't do that. But we can, the power lies in our response to stress. And that's the actionable thing. And what this work does, we haven't really, for those who are wondering, it teaches you a very easy and actionable way to regulate your nervous system so that you can move from stress to enhanced well-being. And when that happens, you see opportunities where once you saw none. You have choice where once you had only reactivity. And the consequences of that are what become life-changing if you practice that every day. So it's simple and powerful. And I want to say something about the challenge too. This is not one of those challenges where we give teaser information and say, but now you have to, if you want to know more, you have to pay. It's not that. We give away everything.
Yep.
If somebody listens, plays full out, they will experience a change and they will walk away with valuable, actionable information. And if they want to pursue more, they'll have that opportunity. Now to your question about why I'm doing this, I left the comfortable semi-retirement when Isabelle asked me to be part of her company. And I said, do I really want to go back after a 30-year career in advertising as creative director? Do I really want to go back into this? Every cell in my body said yes. And I'm doing it because I believe in it. I'm stepped in my purpose and truth doing it. And I'm having a time of my life.
Yeah, that to me is like right there is the key, because I believe all of you have stepped into your purpose on a mission to help transform lives for a living. I mean, really transform lives for a living. And therefore, the ripple effect of transforming consciousness. I think Eric said it best when he was talking about his children going, ooh, they're feeling that vibe. Oh, if I work on this, then they don't have to. And that kind of awareness as a parent, I mean, that makes my hair stand up, but it's why my heart's in my throat. People think that there are no answers. There's so much confusion. They don't trust anybody. They don't know where to go to find real answers. It's like Eric said earlier, I was a seeker. I sat at this guru and this place and went to this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing and still didn't find the answer that I was looking for. And now it's like in 10 days that you take for you. This is a 10-day. It's free. What are you waiting for? Big clue. Free, feelgoodlife.com/breakthrough. Sometimes when things are free, the value is perfect. And I can, without a doubt, you guys have talked to Isabelle. You know how she delivers. You know what she does well. And now with a team of facilitators, you are absolutely in a place where you can transform any of those hidden agendas, those quiet self-saboteurs that you don't want to deal with, any of those things that you can transform, you can. But here's the real thing. Don't you want to meet your own inner genius? Don't you want to meet your own divine power and strength? Aren't you even a little bit curious as to what's possible for you in your lifetime? Aren't you even curious a little bit as to what transformation can happen in that 10 days that can change your life forever? I know I am. And I know people that are watching this are. So let me just tell you something. If you're sitting there alone and you're wondering, should I? Then If you're feeling the vibe of this conversation, you already know you should. This is a free 10-day thing. The reason I'm having this show isn't to persuade you to do anything, because I'm already benefiting from it. I'm already living that feel good life. And I've lived that feel good life because she's been my friend for so many decades that I could go, I'm not feeling that feel good life right now. Can you help me out a second? And so what's happening is, how would you like to have the power to take your own personal power back, find your purpose and serve others? That's what this show is about. And I want to be able to say that all of it, and I want to go back, Isabelle, and I want to find out, what core pieces does everybody teach? What are they going to learn? What are some of the things that they're going to learn how to do through this 10-day process? And how is it that you guys are facilitating this container of transformation so people can have more productivity, feel less stress, and have a more successful life?
First of all, I am officially hiring you as our marketing person, because you are like the most inspired ambassador for this work. So there are two things that are present for me, right? This is one of the things we've all talked about, is the capacity to be more present to ourselves. So I could just rush right now and answer your question, but for me, it's always more interesting in real time to talk about what's happening to ourselves. And I want to say, number one, the gratitude for you, because the way you speak about this work is so genuine and so potent, at least the way I hear it. So thank you. And then I want to express gratitude. This is, like I said, the first time the four of us are together, and to hear all four of us, like there's something that I experience happening in this moment, in this show, because of you, Vicky, and our connection. It's like a part of me wants to cry. It feels like a defining
I feel that
moment.
too.
Yeah.
I'm literally feeling that too. Like, I can feel how important this is to the world right now. I can really feel it.
Yeah, and it's a long time coming. You know, I think it was either Eric or Deidre the other day. I called and it was like, I'm so glad I'm finally learning to delegate and not think I have to do everything. I'm a typical entrepreneur where I resist and I resist and I resist and I resist help, because either I tell myself the story, nobody can do it as well, or I tell myself the story, nobody wants to do it. I'm a burden to ask them to do that. And these three have been on my you-know-what to like say, Isabelle, let us do more. I think it was Deidre actually who was giving me a hard time. And they have been waiting for me. And I, I'm kind of humbled in this moment, I'm humbled in this moment to see the power of also trusting other people. And it is because of this work. You know, this work continually reveals itself to me. As you all know in this group, and Vicky, you know, I realize I have a really badly broken toe and I need surgery, and the surgery is going to happen right before this experience. And then I have to go and teach the work in Phoenix to a big company.
No, we're gonna stop right there. I want to talk about the real. This is a girl who broke her toe 2 months ago, and it's almost a compound fracture. It's like it didn't break through the skin, but it broke. She walked on it for 2 months before she decided, well, maybe I'll go see a doctor. So now, after walking on it for 2 months, now she has to have surgery on it. And then she's going to be able to go teach and to fly and to travel with this healing broken toe. And that, to me, it's like, I'm happy for, she kind of glossed over it. Like, yeah, my toe is broken and I just kind of, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? I was thinking about that today. I would never make it past 2 months of what I don't think I'd make it after 2 hours of walking on a broken toe.
Well, I'm either total fool. I think it's maybe why I didn't tell the whole story. But I think the more important thing about the story, the reason I brought it up is so today I find out it's broken, it needs surgery, right? And what was amazing, and I'm telling you something, 2-3 years ago, that would not have been me. All I felt, like literally, I ended up taking a picture, I call them feel-good angels, of the nurse who took my blood pressure and told me all the operating instructor, the PA who gave me the news, the front office lady. Like I know that spirit did not want me a second ago to go through this, that I actually think I'm getting surgery next week because I'm actually supposed to back off and not be in the weeds right before the challenge starts. So I have a view of the world that we call green zone that is so benevolent, right? I believe the universe is so benevolent. So whatever happens to me and to any of us, we can choose, like Philip was saying, to be present to it and experience gratitude and curiosity, or we can choose to be triggered. I could complain that I'm going to be traveling to Mexico and Phoenix with a booth, and it doesn't even happen to me anymore. It just crankiness, whininess, thinking the universe has it wrong is just not in my DNA anymore.
That's right.
And
That's
right.
right.
And so that's the power of this work, because so on the 10 days, we'll teach you in the moment how to get yourself back to that green zone, to presence, to choice. But the longer you do this work, and these 3 people are embodiments of that, the faster, the more sustainably we live it. We're all different human beings because of this work, and it becomes less and less hard to be loving and compassionate and generous and kind. What else, guys?
Yes.
Peaceful, joyful, all the things we so badly want. Anything the 3 of you want to say about this? Because I love bringing you in.
Yes,
Anything you want to add?
I think one of the things that this work does that's really such a balm for the soul is that it removes the shame from our humanity.
Yes.
It teaches us that this is not our fault, that our brains are wired in a certain way as an inherent part of survival to react the way we do.
Yeah.
But it is our responsibility to work, now knowing that, to reclaim our sense of choice. And the reactivity, here's the other thing, that moment between impulse and action, or
yes,
gets opened up. So instead of just impulse and reaction, you have impulse, choice, and response.
oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Deidre, what's coming up for you?
Oh, I'm co-signing totally what Philip just said. I'm co-signing all of that. That is power, right? People with power have the most choices. The people with the most power have the most choices.
That's right. You got that right. And I want you to repeat that, because everybody wants to have power, influence, and credibility. And this is the key to having it. The people with the most choices have the most power. Thank you.
And when you're
we have
in
a tendency not to know how to get our own choices.
Right. And you give it to yourself. That's what the work is.
Yep.
It's being able to get out of being reactive and to make an intentional choice, even in the space where you're confronted or you're afraid or you're triggered or you're angry. To be able to take a pause for a split second can open up a whole new possibility that you weren't even able to see before when you were in the state of being triggered, because it's really about state, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be in the state that allows you to have the most choices. That's where your power is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. How about you, Eric?
I'm going to go a little different angle because I'm into the quantum field and stuff. So what I've learned through my practices and honing my skills through Isabelle with the quantum field is like the universe is a great rebounder. So how you present yourself, how you are in the moment or not in the moment, you're feeding the universe with that energy. So it responds in kind. So if your life looks stressful and hurried and you're tired, it's this work using Ram Dass polishes the mirror. It allows you to spray a little, Windex on there and wipe it clean a little bit to start changing your energetics, your vibration, your frequency, and you start to see your life transform when you're not a reactive person, when you're not, that woe is me, the victim mentality, that you begin to see and get that separation, talk about the witness, that panoramic view, and you start learning this methodology, you begin to change that vibration and frequency, and you begin to see the world turn in a different light. That great rebounder, right? It starts to show up like, oh my God, that job just showed up, right? Or that person called you, I needed them. And you start to connect to your higher self, and you start to connect to this channel that, like, my life feels different. And to me, that's one of the beautiful things of the work, is that, like, especially what I witness in everybody, is that they're able to just change that vibration and frequency, and their life changes, because that universe is the great rebounder. What you put in comes back to you.
I love this. And, Isabel, I just want to brag on your team. Oh my God. This is the brilliance of the support you're going to have for free. This is like, I don't know, $100,000 worth of love, kindness, and mentoring for 10 days. And all of these people are there to support you in this moment. My hair is standing up. I want to talk about something that Deidre said and Eric kind of alluded to as well. I want to talk to the person who doesn't feel good enough, smart enough, aware enough. It's not about that. I want you to hear me right now. I want you to listen. Stop doing it by yourself. You're here watching this for a reason. Where you are isn't who you are. Where you are is just a moment in time. And if you want to know how to transform where you are into the most powerful who you are, then you want to take advantage of this Feel Good Life Breakthrough Challenge.
Yes.
Because you've gotten to the point where you're sitting there trying to struggle through it by yourself. Now, I don't care if you're a manager. I don't care if you're a CEO. I don't care if you're an executive. I don't care if you're a mom. I don't care if you're a stressed out dad. I don't care if you have a job. I don't care if you haven't got a job. Where you are isn't who you are. And what you're going to learn is who you are. And then how to tap into that who you are in such a way that you have accessibility to the most powerful part of you. What part of that don't you want to learn? So it's free here right now. And what I'm trying to get to the point is everybody tries to struggle this path by themselves. I know I did it, and everybody has learned hustle and grind, go, hustle and grind, work it. And they don't listen to that inner part of themselves that's giving them the next step, that gut check, that reaction that you want to have. What I want to say is, it's time to get over it. It's time to realize that you have outgrown these old systems. You don't need to go back to your iPhone 6. We need to go back to our iPhone 2022. And this is the point. This is what you're going to be learning in this. This is what the point that Philip, I thought that you got to a point where you talked about the conversation about what they were going to learn and how they were going to learn to deal with themselves inside this Feel Good Life Challenge. And I want to have you say it again, because I don't think it can be said enough. And if somebody just jumped on the show right now and said, I wonder what they're talking about, what's free, what are they going to do? I want them to know how they can do this. And I was wondering if you could take us back through that. This is not, and it doesn't matter if you're woo-woo or not. This is practical, usable knowledge.
Sure. So what this work does, if you're just listening for the first time, what this work does, simply, easily, accessibly, is first it lets you learn to recognize where you are on a level of stress, where you are. It gives you a tool for that. Because if you don't know where you are, you can't move from where you are. So first, you discover where you are. Second, you have a method that will teach you the method that will move you and to teach you how to regulate your nervous system so you can move from a state of stress to one of enhanced well-being in minutes, anytime, anywhere. And Vicki, I want to echo something that you were bringing up about where you are. This work meets you wherever you are. Whether you're a neophyte to self-development, whether you're a doubter, whether you're 17 or 87, no matter what, whether you're male, female, it's a equal opportunity healer.
Yeah.
It meets you wherever you are, and it grows with you. It's something that you don't finish it. It's not like I'm a black belt and then I'm done. It grows with you
right.
through your whole life. it's a tool. It's a tool, like breathing's a tool. Like exercise is a tool. Like eating well is a tool. It's part of being well.
I love that. I love that so much. And I want to say something to the audience. Like, everybody always thinks that people achieve success by working hard.
Mm.
And it's really that we achieve success by working smart. And one of the smart things that any successful person has is a support system. And most people think a support system is just a coach, it's the blah, blah. A support system is a methodology when you need it most, when you're under the gun and you don't know when under the gun is going to be there. You don't know whether you need your creativity in the moment. You don't know. But what if you had a way of accessing that made it easier for you? I know that under the gun means, for me, my publisher is going, Vicki, your book is 2 months behind schedule. What's going on? And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm adding these pieces and I need this creativity in order to have this book be as good as I want it to be. And maybe it's your business, maybe it's your marriage, maybe it's your own self that you just want to be able to meet and greet in a different way. Whatever the journey is, you have to learn to cross the bridge sometime in your life from this state of stuckness into this state of massive vastness where you have all of the access to you, no matter where you decide that you want to become successful, no matter what time you want to become successful. This is always the first stage of it. They always tell you, well, first you have to change your mindset and then you have to change your beliefs. Great. How do you do that? How do you do that? You do it by having support and learning methodologies that are going to work no matter what. So it's just like learning to drive. You only have to learn it once. And now you have the opportunity to learn it once for free. And so this, to me, it's the free part that got me, because I know what's in the program. I know how powerful it is. I know that it's helped me go deeper into 7 figures. I know how it's made me quantum leap. I know that I use it 41 books, 42 books, 43 books later. I know that the method works. It works so bloody well that I'm on here. I will shout it out today, tomorrow, the next day. If you want to get to the point where you are having the success you want to achieve, the first thing you have to tap into is you, because your success is in here. It's not out here, it's in here. And I want to just ask, I know, are you getting ready to say something?
I want to say something, because you've mentioned for the person who's used to doing it on their own. So I'm the type of person who freaking hates big groups. All right. I'm the type of person that thrives under one-on-one. Who the heck knows where my trauma comes from for big groups? Could be my family situation as a kid that was dangerous, whether I come from past lives, like who the hell knows? I hate big groups. I literally shut down. I become 5 years old again. I think I don't belong. Like, all the core wounds get triggered. So for 20 years of my private practice, I never did group work. I never understood the power of it. I thought that the most potent way to heal was on one-on-one, for example, with Work With Me. And then as we started, as I built the course online and we started teaching it online, and now we have this course, we have a mastermind, we have a facilitation program. What I now understand about the power of a group has literally, it's what is that called? Turned upside down. I am just blown away. I actually think a lot more transformation occurs when we do it in a bigger group. And these 3 people lead the mastermind that goes on all year long. So yeah, Deidre, you want to say something about that? The power of groups, the people who are scared maybe of being part of a group.
So the beauty of our group is that everybody's welcome, right? You come as you are, and nobody's going to force you to do anything. So the beauty of being in the group is that when one person gets coached, everybody gets coached.
That's right. That's the beauty.
Right. So even if you never ask a question, even if you never open your mouth, you will still get what you need to get from the conversations that are happening around you. And there are things that have happened. People have formed relationships. We just had people in the mastermind all meet in New Hampshire. They all went to see someone. Someone was doing a concert. They have formed. It has taken on a life of its own. The relationships that have formed in our group, and the way people support each other, and the way people cheer each other on, and the way we hold space for each other when people need space. People can see things in you that you can't see in yourself, and they hold the space until you can see it for yourself.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's the power of being in a group like
Wow.
ours.
Yeah,
Can
that's
I add to
holding
that?
belief. Yes, please.
Okay, so she used the term holding space, and I think a lot of people don't understand what that means. But I think when you're in community, especially with us, you get to experience what having space held for you is. And that's a blessing. If you haven't had it, I mean, I encourage you to come for the 10-day challenge, because you will be in a container where you will feel the presence of everybody just supporting you no matter what. No judgment, no nothing.
Yes.
And I think, you know, we throw around some woo-woo terms, but holding space, like, oh, what does that mean? Well, come to community and experience what being held in space is, with a bunch of people who just love you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
beautiful sense of belonging helps you relax into your own beingness and accept your beingness. And I think a lot of stress that people have is that they can't just even accept who they are in the moment. And one of the beautiful things about being held in that container, held in that group, in that community is if you can be yourself and just ground down, the power of you starts to shift in you, and you start to uncover all of your hidden power and greatness, and your hidden inner genius, your hidden talent, but mostly your hidden love. And I want to say something about what Eric said, because I think when you tap into that community love, it lets you tap into your own love and be brave enough to share it, or at least feel it so it emanates from you as well. And I think that is such a profound shift in anything. But what I like about this, the reason I have this special show on right now is because it's rare to find such a powerful group of people ready to help you make a difference in your life for free, to help you make this transformation, meet you on your inside, hold you in a space where you can develop your own creativity, be inspired, feel more confidence and self-love, and have it just be there as a gift to the universe. Now, I want to let you know that,
To add to something that you said,
yes,
the community. So it relieves that inner terror that we all have of being alone, being cut off from the world. So first, you're sort of held in a safe space with other people. And what also happens, and this is one of the highest aspects of this work, we as humans tend to constrict when we feel
yeah,
when we feel threatened, we constrict. What this work teaches us is to actually open to the experience. And when you open to the experience, you allow whatever you're feeling to pass through you,
that's
as
right.
opposed to be stuck within your clench. And the group helps oil and coax that and warm that out of people. It's very powerful.
Yeah, and I want to add, Philip said a little while ago, and it goes with everything we're saying, the no shame piece. I think that because of my own growing up, and there was so much shaming if you were mad or if you were sad, you know, oh, you're too sensitive or you shouldn't feel angry. We see in this work all emotions and all frequencies as sacred. Now, we say to each other and to others, we can have preferences. I prefer to be joyful and in a happy frequency, but sometimes I'm in the cranky, withdrawn frequency. You know, some people who come to our work have struggled with suicide for years. They have struggled with depression. One woman, she did not go out of her house for 8 years, who just took our full course, 8 years after her husband died. And she's one of those people who went to New Hampshire. It was the first time she got on a plane in 8 years. She literally, not metaphorically, has the front and the back of her house open. She started to paint again. because we don't know when you're supposed to change. We're not going to tell you when and how you're supposed to change. We're going to give you the tools, and then we're going to trust your timing. And so some people change within a month, some people change within 6 months. I'm talking like really change, not just, change temporarily. And we see everything as sacred. So the shame is out of the equation as a transformational agent. It is out of the equation. And that's probably the thing I'm proudest about with this work.
I love that you're saying that too, Isabelle, because there's a big, vast difference between change and transformation. Change can happen at any moment, and it doesn't have to be kind. It doesn't have to be nice. It doesn't have to be pleasant. It doesn't have to be under your timing. Change is usually constant. Change is constant. And when you have change, it could be so painful, so scary. That's what change is. Transformation is different. It's when all of you aligns, all of you agrees, and change doesn't stick around. Transformation does. When you transform something, you're actually making a decision, all of you, body, speech, mind, and soul, to do something different, become something different. And that change can be just such an instant. And transformation is an agreement between you and the divine and everything else about molding or being malleable in some way. And I love that you made that distinction, that this isn't about forcing someone to change. This is about you going at your pace and your speed of this. And I'm stuck inside my heart right now, and I'm literally swallowing it. And of course, the phone would go off because nobody thinks the coffee break show is at 3 p.m. on my time and 5 o'clock on the East Coast.
It's the afternoon tea show.
It's the afternoon tea show. But what's interesting here is my heart is in my throat. And I want to be able to say that I have listened so much to so many people that I know the difference between people who are giving with intention and giving with divinity, and the gift that you all are giving right now to the world for 10 days for free is beyond anything that I can imagine. I know that your team is experienced. I can hear it and see it, but I know they love what they're doing. And everyone, I know a lot of my community knows you, Isabelle, but for right now, I'm beyond that. And I want to introduce you to them in my friend way and in your professional way, because Isabelle has so many accolades at the end of her name that, she is a CEO and a founder, as well as being marriage and family therapist. You have an MA there. You obviously have a degree from Barbara Brennan. You have all of these techniques that you have been on this journey for even longer than I've known you. And the experiences that you've been through that have brought you to the point where you have created this work and sought this work it's so big and so huge. I keep trying to get her to write a book, and I know eventually I'm going to win.
Eric too.
I know I'm going to win eventually that conversation. But in this moment, I want to tell you, I do not believe there is a better program out there for anyone to begin to take a look at how to help themselves have and live a stress-free, more blissful, more feel-good life. And with that, I know the amount of work that my friend has done in order to get here. I know from personal conversations, and I don't want to reveal her story. That's her story. What I want to reveal is my story and how just my relationship and friendship has been with you over the times where we've had in-depth, deep conversations. where we've been able to express in a way that is, yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Look at this. I'm looking forward to joining you all for the 10-day program. Thank you. Yes, I cannot wait. This is so exciting. It is so exciting. So yes, this 10-day program, you are definitely going to be uplifted in a way that I don't know how to explain how good it is. I don't know how to explain
I
how
think
I
you
think
show it.
everybody should go there. I
I
am
think you keep
showing it.
showing us, right? Which is the whole point. Is like, don't tell us, show us. And
Yeah.
I think this is what today this interview has felt like, that from you, Vicky, from my team. Like, you can, I hope that listeners can feel it. We're not here to tell you. Our company, we have to be a green zone company, meaning we have to walk our talk. Because for me, like, I have such what is the word, like irritation when I see people who sell something that they don't live. Now, am I in the green zone all the time? For sure not. But what I can promise you that I do is that I will always do the work with myself or reach out to the people, including you, Vicky, when I'm out of alignment. And I think this world, this planet, more and more companies are changing to that, where they're becoming aligned with their purpose. And the ones that aren't, that sell something they're not walking their talk of, are actually falling apart. Even, whether they're spiritual companies or
Right
even
now.
like other any companies. So we need people and companies in alignment.
I want to go in that little direction there, Isabelle, because I know that you work with companies. I know that you actually go into companies and teach this methodology to help their productivity, to help their culture and everything else. And if you're a company right now and you're like, man, I'd like all my people to go through this kind of thing, tell us a little bit about what you do and how can they get a hold of you if they want to do that?
I
I'm
love
just
you.
like, let's hear it.
So it's called the program for corporations for B2C business to, I mean, B2B business to business, called the Stress Reset. And it's actually a 6-week program. And so we just finished with a L'Oreal company. We did a training with them, and the team leader a few weeks ago said our team moved from a 3 out of 1 to 10, right? They were disconnected, they were stressed out, and from a 3 to an 8, and in just 6 weeks. And so it's the same thing. It works. And so we go, I'm going to Phoenix in a couple of weeks to teach a big construction company. We're talking about, Philip was saying this work works for everybody. They're actually, the group we're going to be working with is the men who are in the field of construction, who are against therapy, who are like, I'm not doing weird things like therapy. And they want to give up program because this work works whether you never have wanted to do therapy and you think therapy is weird, or like Eric was saying, you are a deep spiritual seeker of 20 years. And so it's the same methodology that gets taught slightly differently in business, because we use words like productivity, collaboration, versus in the consumer, where we can use more words like, if we want, divinity, or higher self, or things like that. And there are some companies who welcome that language too. So we really can adapt the methodology to whatever the population is that we're teaching it to.
I want to dip into this a little bit because I think this is the thing that's made me very successful. And I want to be as transparent as I possibly can about why this work is so good for you. Here it is. There's the address for the stressreset.co.
Robin, thank you.
Thank you, Robin, for being all that in a bag of
She's
chips.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, she's the power. You say too, she's the power behind you.
He is. So there are times when you're leading a company where you have unexpected threats, is what I'm going to call them, unexpected suits, unexpected economic waves, unexpected anything. And you can become so stressed out if you let your mind run away with your reason. The reason I like the stress reset and the stress response and the stress methodology that you teach is that it allows you to come back to center so fast. So today, this morning, I'm on my bike ride, I love my bike ride, and I have really great bikes. I mean, really nice bikes to go riding in. And I'm riding in the beautifulest day with the beautifulest trees at the perfect temperature. It's out in the morning and I'm riding and I am so bloody angry. And I realized I'm doing a green zone activity, riding my bike, in a red zone state of mind. And I remember thinking while I was writing, holy crap, I'm in the red zone.
Mm.
And immediately, even just the identifying I was in the red zone, I was like, yeah, not good for my body, not actually where I want to be. Blip. And I had the tools and the things to change it. So when I come back into my world, when I'm stressed out at work, that same thing. Oh, I'm doing my purpose. I'm in my office. I love my work and I'm doing it in the red zone. And I know this is, if you're like, what's the red zone? What's the green zone? Go learn it. It's for free for 10 days. And so at this point, I realized that I have the ability to use my green zone and wear it so that I am reminding myself every moment. And if you're a leader and you're leading these big projects and teams and don't think you need these kinds of tools in order to take that quantum leap, you're wrong. It's for free. It's 10 days. It's here. I want to tell you that I feel uber blessed right now. This is more gracious than I ever thought this conversation was going to be. I feel usually it's you and me, Isabel, and we're on the show. What a gift you all are. What a gift is a container. I kept thinking, you know how there are really great bands like the Beatles come to mind, or Earth, Wind and Fire comes to mind, these really great bands where everybody has to work in unison to create one sound, one message, one tone. That's what I feel like, on lead vocals is Isabelle Tierney, on bass guitar is Deidre, Philip is on drums, and here it, guitar
Philip
is
saxophone. I think he's saxophone, Philip.
those whole things. And I look at that and I think to myself, one sound, one message, so powerful. So I feel so much gratitude for that. And your willingness to do this for the world and be in this kind of purpose, it melts my heart. And don't let anyone ever BS you. You guys are doing the real work that the world needs right now. It's unbelievable. And I feel super blessed. So I want to take 2 minutes each. And I want each of you to think about, if there's somebody sitting on the fence right now, what would you say to them? And I don't care who goes first. I want to let the moment, if somebody senses, should it be, I don't know, the 10 days, it's so much time. If they're sitting on the fence about joining you for this amazing event, what would you say to them? And I don't care
I'd
who goes
like
first.
to tell them, I understand where you are. And right now, listen to your heart. Don't worry about your thoughts. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about 10 days. Listen to your heart. Because your heart knows the truth.
Yeah.
So I will say that if you are feeling anything as a result of this conversation, if you are feeling a negative charge or a positive charge, that is an invitation for you to join us. That is your body telling you, just go see. You have nothing to lose. Sign up, hang out in our Facebook group a little. You can listen to the recordings. You don't have to show up live if that doesn't work for you. You can listen to it in your bike. You can listen to it on your car. You can follow up with us. You can ask questions in Facebook and we will answer them. We try to make this as easy and accessible as possible to give you access to the full spectrum of yourself.
Ooh. Thank you.
I'm going to add, I invite any one of you to take a chance on yourself, right? because we're always going to grow, and or we're going to go in reverse, right? And I think everybody wants to grow and feel better, right? The feel good life methodology. So give yourself a chance to open up to what's possible in your life, that a better job, a better relationship, just a better feeling overall all the time, right? And just lean in, close your eyes, and like Philip said, listen to your heart. Because I think if you listen to your heart and you hear just a little bit of a nod to do it, it'll be the best decision you ever made. It has been for me.
Thank you.
I'm like, they've said it all. And so what I'm sitting with is gratitude. If one of the things you will learn is literally how to access states of being, of instead of seeing what's wrong with you or what you're lacking or what you're still missing, you're going to learn to access states of being of gratitude and of seeing what's right. And we really can wholeheartedly guarantee, we guarantee that if you do these 10 days, you will feel better as you complete. So you've literally got nothing to lose, like not a thing. And you actually have a whole new life to gain. So I like Vicky says, like, why wouldn't you do it? It's free. I love that. You're like Italian, it's like you're Italian. So yeah. And I think hopefully that you've connected to us. And, in the afternoons, as we were saying, we have a whole bunch of panels of people who are either facilitators themselves or who really embody the work. So you're going to get to see what's possible for you, whatever you're struggling with in your life. You'll get to see the most lovely people talk about how they shifted. And it's really powerful.
Wow.
So, Vicki, thank you. I know I've said it again. Thank you to you.
Thank you. I feel like one of the best gifts I've gotten in my lifetime is a friendship with you. It has been such a cool journey. It's been such a cool journey, and I feel so fortunate, so lucky, and blessed by the universe. I want to let you know this is the Coffee Break Show. This is a special edition of the Coffee Break Show. You can join this 10-day Breakthrough Feel Good Life Challenge at the feelgoodlife.com/breakthrough. It's free. Hello. And so what I want to do right now is invite you to believe in yourself, listen to your heart, and just take a chance on you and join this 10-day challenge. Thank you for being here. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. And we will always have another. And if you guys, I might sneak in next week, even putting Isabelle on with me again, and we'll do a special live show so that we can talk about this again. Go ahead and go to that link that is on the feelgoodlifebreakthrough.com. No, it's feelgoodlife.com/breakthrough. And this is where you're going to find it. It's in the show notes. Relax if you're driving. And we'll see you guys at the challenge. Thank you for being on the special edition of the Coffee Break Show and hanging out with us. And we will see you at the next special edition. Mwah! See you guys later. Bye-bye.